What's up, guys? Welcome back to Breakout Trading. Today's day 2 of the Trade Zero account, and it is a small green day. Okay, so I'm going to do this recap. The market just closed like a minute ago. I haven't really eaten much today, so I'm just going to do this recap and then go, recover from the day. So holy crap, today was a day. We definitely had a battle with NNDM, which I will go over. I'm going to try and keep this video a bit quicker, so I'm just going to start blasting through what my setups were. So first trade was once again long here on Beyond Meat. This ended up being a losing trade. We lost $25, a little bit more than my anticipated $20 loss, but that's just because I got filled a little high. And as you can see from this chart today, that was a very questionable trade. Here was the setup from the morning. So it's pretty much a complete chase. I've rated this trade a 2 out of 10 in my journal log thing. We're up 454 on the day after making back the loss here of 26.83 total, including commissions. So basically, in the morning, let me just lower this a bit. In the morning, there was once again a lot of gappers. I was glad they were not all energy stocks this time. Lots of pharmaceutical stocks. I had a plan going for CTIC and ITRM, but neither of them really worked out as I planned. I missed an entry a little bit on CTIC. It didn't pull back to where I wanted it to buy it at a support level. So I tried to long Beyond Meat again. It didn't work, shocker. Same daily breakout idea as yesterday, but it did the exact same thing as yesterday, where it had a big morning surge and then just sold off. But this time I honestly chased the entry pretty bad. The setup on this one was a trade line view across and a high of day support resistance flip, so I was looking for that initial high of day to act as support. Decided to try this one earlier in the morning this time, because yesterday I tried it at lunchtime, and today the SPY was ripping. Yesterday the SPY was dumping, but I still lost, and it was a bit over 20 because I got filled higher than I wanted. So entered in here. I forget how many shares, but the risk was 18 originally, but I tried to get filled lower here at like 170, but I think I got filled at like 171. Looking at this, it's just a complete chase. I don't even know what this setup was basically supposed to be. That's why I rated my execution for this one a 2 out of 10. It was just brutal. On the daily chart here, I was trying to get I kept thinking we're gonna rip because we were finally over this high here, and we're coming up right here. I was looking for like a pop to like 180 or some sort of extension. We got a huge volume, and it's a bit of a flat top breakout here, big rounding accumulation, and I'm just looking for like a pop, but just doesn't want to pop over, and I'm done trying it. Whatever. I really don't care anymore. So yeah, this trade is horrible. Honestly, very disappointed in it. So here you can see that initial high of day was kind of acting as support, and we had the VWAP is the green one and the trade line's the blue one. I know it's kind of confusing, but Trade Zero keeps taking away my custom settings, so this is just how it's going to look. You can see we're kind of making like a bit of a doji here, trying to hold some sort of support on this trade line VWAP area. I thought it was probably going to bounce down and then recover up. That was the goal, but it's not a small cap. It's a lot bigger, and it's already moved a lot today, so I had to keep that in mind. And we ended up getting stopped out right here when it broke below VWAP and everything, and the high of day and everything. It just kind of crapped out below everything, a big red candle, and we got stopped out here for the loss. Overall, horrible setup. I basically bought the top. Like, at least if I entered here and then stopped out here, that would have been fine. But I entered way too high. I'm not really sure what I was thinking there. It was a good stop out though, I guess, because you can see this thing immediately flipped VWAP as resistance, and throughout the whole day we just butted our heads against it and sold off. So yeah, I'm done trading Beyond Me. That stock, it's the same thing as yesterday. It had a big morning surge. I tried to get long, and then as soon as I got long, it just faded all day. So not fun. So initially in the morning we were down 26.83. I wasn't feeling too good. I was pretty frustrated because I don't know why I took Beyond Meat again. I wrote that here as like, it was a terrible trade, a complete chase, and a horrible entry. The only thing that I did good was stop out where I planned and kept it somewhat manageable loss. I'd rate this trade a 2 out of 10. Now, I often do this. I go back to the tickers that I lose on, and I don't really know why. I go back to them thinking I see stuff and thinking it's going to be a good setup, but it turns out to just wreck me every time. So that's a bad habit to just... So I'm not going back anymore to Beyond. Like, fuck that. That's a bad habit, yeah. Don't go back to your losing tickers. So the second trade of the day was actually a brutal fat finger mistake that possibly cost me my biggest win ever. And yes, you read that correctly. How bad does that suck? So if there wasn't already a wound, this put a whole bunch of salt in it this morning. So basically I was a little frustrated over the Beyond Meat loss, but I kept my cool and scanned for the next setup. So I really took a deep breath. I was like, okay, you lost. You know, I'm sizing up in this account. I'm not taking 25 shares anymore. These are like, well, obviously Beyond was under 25 shares, but like for these small caps, I'm taking a lot bigger share size than 25 because I'm sick of making like $10 on a winning day. So I just took a deep breath. I said, this is just one losing trade. There's lots more day left. And along came NNDM. So this is one of the ones that was gapping up this morning. I had it on my little watch list. And it was setting up for a trade line VWAP cross. First one of the day, looked really good. I quickly calculated my position size based on my risk and got long. Soon after I entered, I realized there was a sell wall at 270 and it was forming into an ascending triangle. So this is what that looked like. So here's NNDM on a 3-minute chart. This was a low float. I threw up the piece of paper I had written on, but I think it was like 4 million float and like 100 million, under 100 million market cap. So this thing would move quick when it wants, and you can see, boom, this immediately a nice big spike in volume there to confirm that something's happening. Once again, green line is VWAP, blue line is the trade line. So you can see the trade line's coming up here. It hasn't crossed yet, but it was, you know, a really nice volume spike, so I want to get in before the cross, especially because we just tested high day right away there, and I thought if we could break through that, we had some room. So anyways, got long right there. I forget how many shares it was. I forget how many shares it was, but my risk was my $18 risk there, down there at 248. Below this kind of pivot high, and I think I also tried to place it, yeah, just those two kind of pivot highs I was using, and VWAP to hide my stop loss under, and the low of this candle. So we had like a low here, you know, resistance, 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 and then support here. So I had hid my my stop loss under there. It was under the trade line and under VWAP, and you can see that I have a bracket order. Now pay attention to this right up here. So this was actually my 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio calculation. That's where I would have taken my profit for a nice $54 win. That's what that would have been if we kept the whole. Oh, it's 150 shares I was in with. I couldn't read that when it was all down here. But 150 shares. If we held from about 260 up to there, we would have been up big today. And as you can see, I'll show this right away first. Keep in mind 296. Yeah, that's what happened. 296, right up there. Oh God, yeah, but we didn't have it. I exited the trade, so that effing sucks, but it's okay. I'll show you what happened. So that was why it would have been my biggest winner ever. But anyways, so that was the original setup, the trade line view of cross. And now, so in this situation here, you can see that, okay, this thing definitely looks pretty good. So we got our resistance here at 270. I think we had like 3 or 4 3-minute candles tick up against this level. You can also see it's kind of the high of day, or it's a little bit above because this one was at like 268. But you know, we're definitely wedging up here. So I figured if we broke 270, it was just going to start popping up. I didn't actually think it would get all the way up to my target, but it did. Volume's still good. We now have that cross confirmed there. If you can see for the trade line VWAP cross. Boom, there it is, confirmed. Nice volume. So far this is an A+ setup. A plus so far, and it's forming into an ascending triangle, another one of my setups. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 combo right here. And I was like, okay, this thing's looking pretty good. But small cap action has been very, very choppy lately. So what I tried to do is up here at 270, I tried to sell 50 shares of my 150 share position, but I accidentally sold it all. Let's go to here. God, that sucks, yeah. So here's the cross. Here's that 270 level I was just talking about. Right up there. Bang, our heads against it a few times. So 1, 2, oops. So we had, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're coming up. It's a nice setup, and I'm long right here. Remember, my stop loss is like around, what was it, around 250 or something. And I tried to take off a piece of profit, just 50 shares out of 150 up here. Even though that's not the best, I wasn't actually too confident this thing would actually end up breaking 270. And literally, as soon as I pushed market out, you can see order history down here. NNDM, oh no, that's the buy. And right here, I marketed out at 269.11 at exactly 11:01 a.m. and literally exactly after I sold my whole position, this thing broke out so heavy on massive green volume. And at first I was so confused. I was like, what just happened? And then I realized I freaking sold my whole thing. And now I have that setting turned off. So I think that setting was this one here. Auto load quantity from position on symbol change. So I must have like looked away for a second, came back, and it said auto load quantity, and I thought it was 50 shares, but it was actually my whole position. So we're keeping that checked off right there, so that doesn't happen again. Anyways, this thing broke out, and I was like, well, damn, that sucks. Like, even though I ended up making 13 bucks on just from like 260 up to 270, I was like, god damn, man, like I just missed out on like the bulk of this move. But I once again kept my cool, and I realized that this thing's obviously just popping, so I can buy a retest at 270. So what I did is I let it extend, and then right here and here I bought, what did I buy here? Right here. So right here I bought 100 shares right here, and then I bought another 100. So at 277, at 280 I bought 100 shares, and at 277 I bought another 111. So I was long 211 shares right here. Stop loss below 270. Obviously, because this is, should act as support now that this was clear resistance. And then this is a washout long play, so nice and quick. When it has a big extension move, the shorts, they want out. So the first pullback, they're going to cover their shorts, as well as long traders are going to want to get in. This is a nice front side move still. First pullback after a breakout like this is definitely a good play, a good place to buy. So I ended up scaling out there, sold 100 shares there at 283, and then I sold another 50 here at 285, and another 50 up here at another 61 up here at 291. So it kind of had this little bounce play here. I did spend a ton in commissions here, $5 in commissions, which is kind of brutal because I only made $15 or 16, so I spent like a third of my gains right here in commissions. So next time it would be nice if I just had like one entry, one exit, but it's hard not to scale in and scale out. It's very difficult to do. It's easy to say in theory that you're going to do that, but when you're actually trading, it's hard to have that one entry and that one exit. I like to scale in and scale out. So that's just part of the game, the commissions. And then that was it. Actually nailed that pretty good. I didn't top ticket on the sell, but I knew that that $3 resistance was that whole number. And I actually forget why I had $3 up there as the resistance line, but there was a reason on the daily chart. Actually, can I just go look over here? Okay, yeah, maybe I just sold it out because of the whole number. Anyways, yeah. And then this thing pulled back and we were getting into lunchtime now, so I let it go. So basically this is everything I just said. You can kind of, if you want to pause that and read it, you can. But anyways, the original trade that I accidentally sold at 270 plus the washout long netted me $22. That includes commissions, so I think I was without commissions it was up like 30. So that's net profit there on those two trades. And then, oh yeah, and so ouch, that one stings because I would have had like the most epic, like perfect trade ever, like $54 winner if I just left my bracket order and like went upstairs. But in reality, I would have never not taken pieces of profit on the way up. That would have just be stupid because that actually happened in the last trade. You'll see if you don't take profit on the way up, you get wrecked. So overall, -2 off the execution here for my fat finger mistake. Overall, 8 out of 10 here for the execution on that trade. Later in the day, I had an attempt for an initial high of day support resistance flip trade on NNDM, but I didn't get my order filled by 1 cent. So this would have been an extremely well executed trade. And what that one was this. So as you can see, before I click it, remember how we had that 270 level as resistance? We popped up, I had the washout long, and then we're coming down now, and I actually had an order right here at 271 to buy the dip. Right here, oh my god, this is so brutal looking back at it. For 200 shares too, so it would have been a commission-free trade. I had it right there at 271. Look, you can even see it right here, order history. 200 shares there, canceled, limit order of 271. So a free limit order right there at 271 for 200 shares because I wanted to buy the retest. And as you can see, we got left in the dust. This thing curled up right there, never filled me at 271. The low of this candle right here was 272. And then, oh man, that's just part of the game. You know, you can see the low of this candle right here is 272. So this thing ended up ripping without me. It left me in the dust. Not really too sure why that shade's there. I didn't take any trades here. But yeah, man, that really sucks. And then we ended up actually breaking through the high of day as well. So NNDM, I titled it the one who got away. Baby come back. This, oh god. So obviously got front ran there. I wasn't the only one trying to do that. Excellent execution there. That would have been one of the greatest trades I've ever made. Twice today. This would have been one of the greatest trades I've ever made. And this would have also been one of the greatest trades I've ever made. So it's just one of those days. At least I'm green. Just surviving. Just survival. That's all trading is. It's just survival. So that sucks. Yeah, that would have been a 10 out of 10 execution trade had it happened. The last trade today was also on NNDM. And before I go over this last trade, so this is after lunch now, was my last trade, and I'm looking for end of day squeezes, and it was this one here. But before I do that, I want to look at ITRM. So this was another stock that was in play today. And as you can see, it had a really nice like double bottom here, right? And I actually had on my sheet, I wrote down all the things that I needed to see in order to get long on this, and those things I did see on NNDM. That's why I took the trade, and that's why I didn't take this trade. So first thing's volume. I want to see a nice volume spike. I want to see a higher high. So you can see this made a high here in the morning. It's made a lower high here. Just get rid of this for confusion. It's made a lower high here at 174. I want to see it at least get over 174 and then pull back, and I will figure out an entry that's somewhere around 174 to 1 to VWAP, and my stop loss can be under VWAP and 174, so it has 2 levels that it has to break through. So cross, I need to see that actually the trade line crosses VWAP, volume a higher high, and you can see it looks really good. I actually thought about entering in here, but I said, no, you got to wait, look at the volume, it's puny. Here we are, we're poking our heads above VWAP. Looks like good. Boom. We did not get the cross. We did not get a higher high over 174, and the trade line and the volume never happened. And you can see this thing just completely broke this support it made throughout the day and just sold off all day here. So that's a lesson there in waiting for confirmation, because that would have been really nasty if I took a huge L on this today by not waiting for confirmation. So we'll go over the last trade today. I made 1257. This one dug me out of the hole from BYND. So the last trade today was a trade line VWAP crossover setup, anticipating an end of day squeeze. We've been seeing lots of those lately. I waited for confirmation of the cross, this is what I just said, volume and a higher high before getting in. And I said, thank you, Jesus, for not stopping me out on the VWAP test, because it came damn near close to stopping me out. So this was that last trade on the day. So as we, as I said, we sold off. Here's that retest that I missed right here. Had a big rally, and then we sold off into lunchtime in the afternoon. And then at the end of the day here, I kept an eye on this thing because it's obviously been active all day. It's got lots of juice in it today, and we came up. We started to play around with VWAP here. Let me just zoom out. Sorry. So this is just like that last chart I just showed you, where I wanted to see a higher high first. So we had the cross here. This is the setup. Right there, you can see that nice volume spike. The cross is very, very, very close to happening. I got in a little bit before the cross, but it was pretty damn close to happening. And we made a higher high over these two. So this is a lower high, and we made a higher high here. So I wanted to see that before I got in. Right here I got in on the test of this high here, right around $3. And I really was hoping that $3 would get reclaimed, which it eventually did. Zoom back in here. So here we go. This is the 1 minute chart now, nice and zoomed in. Big pump over that high. That's what I have marked out right here. Is that what I have marked out? I'm actually not. I think so, yeah. Back over $3. We got long here. 100 shares there at 298, and my stop loss was, I think, yeah, it was under VWAP. I just showed that, didn't I? Yeah, under VWAP there at 280, and the ultimate sell target was up here at 352. That means we would have had to break through the high of day, and I was somewhat skeptical about that. We only had an hour left in the day, but I was prepared if that wanted to happen. So I got long there. And then there's this massive flush. So we literally just broke like everything and tested VWAP even below it a bit. And my stop loss is down here at 280. So I'm so glad that I did not get stopped out there. That would have sucked. That would have been a nice big fat loss, even though I was correct in my analysis. We ended up recovering, and then I started scaling out as soon as we made a high over here. So I sold 33 shares here at 305. Another 33 at 310, and my last 37 shares up here at 318. And you can see that that 318 candle there was actually the high of that whole move. So really good scale out there. Got just the tail end of that that end of day squeeze move, and you can see we sold off really hard and chopped around for the rest of the day. Yeah, guys, so that's it for me today. Pretty nice trading. Happy with my executions today, except for, obviously the two trades that I missed here, this one here and the re-entry. Missed a lot of money, left a lot of money on the table on NNDM, but we ended up making like, what is that? Like $30-something on it. So it dug us out of the hole for BYND. What did we make on NNDM? 22. Yeah, so we made like 35 bucks on it. Not bad. Not bad. And then that dug us out of the hole for Beyond Meat. So we're ending up the day 2 here, up 454. Overall, my execution today is 6.3 out of 10. I average out the 3 trades taken. This is what really brought down my execution, was the Beyond Meat trade. That's a 2 out of 10. However, the first NNDM trade was an 8 out of 10. Kept my cool, even though I fat fingered it. That's just I don't really consider that like a huge mistake because it's just a setting that I'm not used to. So that was just a, you know, sometimes you just click the wrong button. Not really much you can do about that. I had the right idea. I was ready to go, but I just messed up on the actual clicking the button. So took off 2 for that, but I'm not too concerned about that. That's a pretty fucking easy mistake to fix. Just uncheck the setting. This trade would have been absolutely incredible, but I didn't include that in the calculation because it didn't happen. And this trade was pretty damn good. Waited for confirmation and scaled out nicely. Hesitated a bit on the entry. I got a little bit high there, but I wanted to make sure it made a higher high over that that $3 pivot high there. So that's it today, guys. I'm trying to make these videos a bit shorter, but they are what they are. And I'll be back tomorrow for some more trading. Adios.